Well, good morning, everyone. This is Carpo, and this morning video is going to be kind of an addition to my nostalgia video I made last night. But something I really forgot to mention, and the reason why I think that I wanted to make the nostalgia video in the first place, was I watched this video, a movie last night. It was a documentary, and it was called Time Zero. And it was a movie, it was called Time Zero, the Last Year of Polaroid. And surprisingly enough, I was very moved by it. I was very engulfed in the show, and I found it very revealing in many ways. And it was such a simple idea, the idea that you can take a picture, that picture comes out of the camera, and that you can hand it to the person you're taking the picture of. Or, as one guy put it in there, he said he took a picture of a couple at their wedding one time and gave them the picture. And he said, of all the hundreds of pictures people took that day, that'll be the only picture that they're able to carry with them on their honeymoon and actually look at. So anyway, as I'm sitting here speaking on my digital camera, I've always been very enthralled by digital cameras because it allows us to fit so much more space on such a small area. And with my digital photography camera, it's the same exact thing. Although the points are always well made when somebody says, you have 5,000-10,000 photos on your hard drive. How many of them really make it into hard copy? And by the time they do, they're usually so old. You're glad to have them, but instant reminiscing is only done through a screen. So anyway, I was so interested in this whole Polaroid thing. I wanted to research. I want to bring Polaroid back. So my idea was that I'm going to Soak next month, the local Burning Man, and I wanted to have an event booth where it's like a theme booth where you can come up and take pictures and I'm asking people that go to donate and to bring any Polaroid cameras they have and maybe grab some film. And we're going to use this so people can take pictures. My brother had this. He did this at his wedding when he got married a few years ago. They had like 2 or 3 Polaroid cameras and a whole bunch of film just sitting there on a little stump, and everybody could go up and just take pictures of themselves or of the bride and groom or anything, and then just leave the pictures there on this huge table. And it was awesome. I've still got some of those awesome pictures that I brought home with me of the fam. And so I went on last night. I was so enthralled with this idea that I went down to Goodwill right away, because I was like, dude, first I went online to try to find a Polaroid camera, and instantly I got to, the first place I looked was like Amazon or eBay, and they're selling old Polaroid cameras for like $300, and I could not believe it. And I knew that was ridiculous, and I know they're just doing that because it's discontinued, and probably because of that show. And so I went to Goodwill, where I usually go, and I found a manual Polaroid Joy-Cam, like right away. And even those stupid little cheap disposable, basically just throw away, like Polaroids, people are selling for $50 on eBay. It's ridiculous. And so I picked it up and brought it home, and then I started researching film, and I found people selling, because they stopped making the film in 2012. Now there are people on there, on eBay and online, selling like 3 packages of film for $150. This is 30 photos for $150. That's $5 a photo. And people who don't know any better will buy it. So anyone who is interested in Polaroid should know that there's a thing called the Impossible Project. All you have to do is Google it, Impossible Project. And this is a company who spent 10 years, they bought the rights to the film from Polaroid, and now they're manufacturing their own. And it's a little spendy. It's about $20 for a 10-pack, but it's still a lot cheaper than spending $50 for a 10-pack. But there are a lot of people taking advantage out there. So if you're interested in getting a Polaroid don't get one off Craigslist. I mean, don't get one off eBay or Amazon. I went on Craigslist, and I found the exact same one that they're selling for $300 for like $30. You know, people aren't going to charge those ridiculous prices on Craigslist, and everybody's got Polaroids on there. So I'm getting ready to go out and buy some film and take it with me and start making kind of something fun out of it, you know. They were comparing it to vinyl, you know, because I'm a record fan, and you can only on a record can you see the music. You can actually see the music. Of course, you have to look really closely, preferably with a magnifying glass or microscope at the actual space between in the actual grooves of the record, but it's there. It's physical, visible music. And this is the exact same thing with the photo. This is a photo that's being impressed upon a piece of film and instantly reminisced about, and it's pretty amazing. And my belief is that things like this are going to come back very strong and full force, just like vinyl has. You know, people thought that records were dead. They're not dead. Everybody's buying records now. In fact, when I was at Goodwill last night, I saw a turntable, and I used to always buy turntables when I saw them because I've been so, you know, fascinated with records. And they had one there for $20, and I heard some guy talking with his wife, and he's like, "Oh yeah, these are really big right now. I want to buy this one." And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, it's a junker, dude." And he goes, "Oh, but it's money." And I didn't want to tell him, "No, I mean, I'm a vinyl fanatic. It's a junker." I said the needle's probably worth more than the record player, but there is good gear out there that's really worth it, good analog gear. And I guess my point is that the pictures are going to come back full force, just like, you know, just like they did with records. And I tried to use old film cameras, and it's just not the same. You might as well use a digital if you're going to use a film camera, because you still have to go get it developed and everything. But anyway, enough about Polaroid. Take care, everybody.